of local craft people.
Whatever it took to become a woodworker, I think I did it.
Starting with a furniture artisan.
If you're a CEO, the desk represents you.
Will I keep all my fingers? Handmade Tales, a brand new series, Sunday on CNA.
Singapore has been shaped over hundreds of years by a blurring of cultural and ethnic boundaries.
Singapore's success was based on its perfect geographical location.
Singapore, a city with a surprising wild side.
Our tiny island is really alive day and night.
Our commitment to improve bilateral ties on the basis of equality and mutual respect.
Imagine the Singapore you know, only reimagine it.
Singapore has a role to play in the AI world.
When you get AR and VR spaces, there's the opportunity to bring children and parents together to play.
Singapore gears up to develop this new frontier.
The sky is the limit.
CNA Leadership Summit. Presenting partner, Daikin.
The human cost of the climate crisis will become even greater.
A timely conversation on one of the biggest challenges facing the world today.
Climate change will affect every single person. A leadership summit is imperative.
In order to bring various leaders together to start thinking about sustainability.
Observing stringent safety measures, business leaders and decision makers gathered physically and virtually to discuss collective actions for a green recovery.
The message delivered was one of hope, that there are many solutions out there for climate change.
A big thank you to all the panellists and participants at this year's CNA Leadership Summit. Organised by MediaCorp. Official car partner, BMW. Official partner, RBC, Royal Bank of Canada.
Macet, an Indonesian word that describes Jakarta's notorious traffic congestion. The introduction of the MRT is a definite game changer, and hopefully Macet will be a thing of the past for Southeast Asia's biggest capital.
Satubari Smile, CNA, Jakarta.
Updating tonight's top stories. HDB launches nearly 3,900 BTO flats. Ongoing projects could face further delays as the construction sector struggles with a manpower crunch due to border measures. Cleaning firms tighten measures to reduce the risk of transmission across work sites, even if they haven't seen cases of coronavirus. New guidelines to improve ventilation and air quality in buildings. It's a bid to reduce transmission of COVID-19 indoors.
In regional news, the probe into the head-on collision between two trains in Malaysia's capital has found one driver is probably to blame. Preliminary investigations show he was driving his train in the wrong direction. The crash has left more than 200 people injured.
This is the aftermath of two trains colliding head-on the Kuala Lumpur LRT. One train with no passengers was being manually driven back to the depot after failing to operate automatically. Moments later, it collided with the second train carrying 213 passengers. The impact so severe it left many commuters seated and standing, lying on the floor. Preliminary investigations indicate driver negligence caused the crash. He's accused of driving his train in the wrong direction. Of the 200 people injured, 6 are in critical condition. It's the first major metro accident on the subway system after 23 years in operation.
Lepas sini semalam memang ada rasa gemuruh juga lah untuk naik train, tapi disebabkan keperluan, so ada urusan kerja, so memang saya kena.
Terkejut tak apa yang berlaku semalam?
Memang terkejut lah, ini first time kan, so luar daripada jangkaan lah.
So macam semalam kan tengok kan berita banyak kan ada darah apa semua, memang agak takut sikit lah nak naik tu. So tapi dah memang hari-hari kita naik train, so terpaksa lah.
Partial service on the Kelana Jaya line, the country's busiest before COVID-19, has resumed. Authorities reassuring commuters that the LRT system is reliable.
We already given the assurance, now I already said it, we take all the necessary steps to make sure that the service are safe. What had happened is an accident. An accident happened, so cannot say because of the accident, and then our system, the whole service is not safe.
Injured victims will receive special assistance of about $240 each. Medical expenses will also be covered by the company which operates the line. Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin has described the crash as serious and pledged a full investigation. A report is expected in 2 weeks.
The Singapore government says that it's saddened to learn of the many injuries from the Kuala Lumpur LRT accident. It sends its sympathies to the families affected by the accident and wishes the injured a smooth and speedy recovery. The Foreign Affairs Ministry also says there are no reports of Singaporean casualties in the incident.
Malaysia has reported a record 7,289 new COVID-19 infections. Daily cases have been above 6,000 for the past 7 days. And the country's health chief is warning the public to prepare for the worst as daily infections grow at an exponential rate. People are advised to stay at home and to comply strictly with safe distancing measures. Selangor continues to top the list with more than 2,600 new infections, followed by Johor and Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia now has a total number of more than 520,000 infections. Its ratio of infections at more than 16,000 per million is Southeast Asia's highest.
At the same time, tighter restrictions have come into force across Malaysia. It's part of the country's third movement control order. The curbs are short of a full lockdown. Businesses can operate only 12 hours a day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pharmacies can remain open until 10 p.m. 80% of civil servants and 40% of the private sector have to work from home. Public transport services will operate at half capacity. Authorities predict nearly 9,000 new daily infections by early next month if tougher measures aren't followed. The country is battling more than 500 clusters, including those linked to workplaces and religious gatherings.
Taiwan is extending its second highest COVID-19 alert level as it battles an infection surge. Local cases are still rising despite tighter social restrictions. Schools and entertainment venues will remain closed with level 3 restrictions to remain in force until the middle of next month. The outbreak has been made worse by a low vaccination rate, with only 1% of the population inoculated so far. Millions of COVID-19 vaccines are on their way to the island. The first batch of 2 million will arrive by the end of next month. The Health Ministry says the numbers include domestically developed vaccines. Victoria Jen tells us about Taiwan's vaccination strategy.
Health Minister Chen Shizhong says Taiwan is expected to receive 2 million doses of vaccines in June and another 8 million by the end of August. But they will not still be enough for the 23 million people on the island. So now the government is trying to persuade the U.S. to provide its vaccines to Taiwan. Now, at the same time, however, Taiwan has rejected China's offer to provide Taiwan with its own vaccines by citing legal issues. It has also forbidden local governments from obtaining vaccines from China. Now, critics say that now is not the time for political consideration, especially when people's lives are at stake. Now, as the government is scrambling to get more vaccines, President Tsai Ing-wen has promised that the locally developed vaccines would be ready by July, but no details have been given on the quantity and efficacy of these vaccines.
India is hoping that its second COVID-19 wave is easing. Daily coronavirus infections have fallen to their lowest level in nearly 6 weeks. India recorded just over 196,000 new coronavirus cases. Now, that's less than half the 400,000 reported earlier this month. But experts believe that the numbers are grossly underreported. Now, that's mainly due to a lack of testing in rural areas, where the spread has also been taking a toll